South Korea, the United States, and Japan have conducted a combined maritime drill in which they practiced taking down incoming missiles from North Korea. Our defense correspondent Oh Soo-young is live at the nation's Ministry of National Defense to fill us in. So hi there, Sooyoung. The joint training finished just a few hours ago. What did it involve?
Hi Jungmin, you're right. The combined exercise between Seoul, Washington and Tokyo finished at around 2 p.m. on Wednesday following a 5-hour run. It took place in the East Sea involving the three countries' Aegis-equipped guided missile warships. This includes South Korea's largest destroyer Sejong the Great, the USS Barry, and Japan's Atago destroyer. Based on computer simulation, the Allies practiced information sharing to increase their ability to detect, track and intercept incoming ballistic missiles. A Joint Chief of Staff official told us reporters that South Korean and Japanese forces practiced missile detection and information sharing, while the US warship intercepted the projectile.
South Korea, the US, and Japan have strengthened our security cooperation and response system through this maritime missile defense training.
The exercise seems to have been organized in response to North Korea's intercontinental ballistic missile launch on Saturday, which was followed by 2 short-range ballistic missiles on Monday morning. It's the second such drill that the three countries have held since last October, and Seoul's defense ministry says that the three nations will continue to hold these maritime missile defense drills as part of their trilateral cooperation on deterring Pyongyang's growing threat to regional security.
Right. It seems they are already discussing that with naval commanders of the three nations gathering earlier today. Tell us more about that.
Sure. So the naval commanders of South Korea, the United States and Japan met on Wednesday to discuss maritime operations, including trilateral exercises, in order to respond to North Korea's growing missile threats. And the South Korean Navy says that the three-way meeting took place in Yokosuka, Japan, at the US 7th Fleet Command. In particular, Seoul's Naval Operations Commander, Vice Admiral Kim Young-soo, and his US counterpart, Vice Admiral Carl Thomas, they discussed ways to strengthen information sharing and further coordinate joint exercises, especially upon the 70th anniversary of the bilateral alliance. The two commanders, along with Japan's Vice Admiral Akira Saito, strongly condemned North Korea's recent missile launches as a serious provocation that harms the peace and stability of the international community, as well as the Korean Peninsula.
And Sooyoung, another important exercise coming up on Wednesday in the U.S. is the drill between South Korea and the U.S. to counter nuclear threats. It's considered an important procedure involving senior defense officials, I believe.
You're exactly right, Jungmin. So these tabletop exercises, the so-called TTX, will be held in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday. And it's the first time it takes place since 2016. And these practice nuclear scenarios where the Allies are preparing to respond to a possible nuclear strike from North Korea as the regime's weapons capability and belligerence continues to grow. South Korea's Deputy Defense Minister for Policy, Ho Tae-gun, and his US counterpart, US Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for East Asia, Siddharth Mohandas, they will take part in this discussion-based exercise. The session will focus on developing contingency plans and responses to a nuclear scenario, with measures such as information sharing and consultation procedures. Following the drill, the Korean delegation, along with US officials, will visit a naval base in Kings Bay, Georgia. Now, this is very significant because it marks the first time that officials from both sides tour a naval base that hosts a nuclear-powered submarine. Now, that shows the Allies' determination to respond readily and firmly to North Korea's continued threats. That's all from me. Back to you, Jungmin.
Our defense correspondent Oh Soo-young, thank you.